Alright, welcome back to the channel, everybody. Finally made it down to hive number 7, which is in a 5-frame nuc. I'm just walking away from the hives to get into some shade because it's about 12:30. It's August 2nd. Heat index has had the temperature over 100 degrees, and that was at 10 o'clock. So it's probably 105, 110 now, and it feels like it for sure. I'm soaking wet. I'm on the last hive for the week. About to finish up. So number 7, quick backstory, made a split a few weeks ago. Found the queen last week, got a little excited about that and decided to mark her like I have been this season for all the hives queens. And I have not really mastered the paint marker yet because I'll prime it just to get a little paint on the tip, and for whatever reason when I go to mark the queen, or when I went to mark that queen and one other, I think number 5 was pretty sloppy. It was an absolutely atrocious job. I got paint, more paint than I wanted. I got paint all over her wing, right wing I think some on her eyes. So I'm kind of curious to see as time goes by whether or not number 7 accepts her. Well, they already accepted her. If they keep her around and don't try and supersede her because they think something's wrong with her because of the paint. However, on the other hand, I'm really hoping that has absolutely no effect on her and she turns out to be a great egg laying queen. So like usual, enough of me yapping. Let's take a look into the colony and see how they're doing this week. Here we go. 5-frame nucs have become not really a favorite, but something I look forward to, meaning it does not take much time or effort to inspect them. Alright, outer frame, kind of like the norm. It's kind of a filler frame. I mean, it is there for them to work, but it's really just so they don't draw out too much funky comb on the next frame. Grab my flashlight. That comb is pretty dark, but just trying to determine if she's laying in it. Doesn't look like it, at least not yet. And then this side, ton of capped honey. Well, ton, just a nice decent amount, I guess. I think I see a bunch of eggs. I'll grab my flashlight just to double check in a second. Should not be a problem finding the queen with how terrible of a marking job I did on her last week. Looks like eggs, but for whatever reason it's just really hard to tell on the older comb, even with a flashlight. Yeah, I can't really tell on that side. It's weird. Alrighty, not too many options left to find her. Be pretty hard to miss too. There is one more frame, and I have found quite a few queens hanging out on the very last frame, just trying to avoid me. And I do not see her. Let's look inside the box real quick. and I'll go back through the frames. And also, I'll check the ground. Maybe they gave her the boot. I mean, she should really stand out with how terrible of a job I did marking her, but I'm also starting to think that caused some problems, and maybe the hive didn't want her around anymore. Alright, let's take a look in the box. Alright, well, that's what I was hoping would not have happened. I was really hoping to find her this week, but not sure. Hold on a sec. I'll tell you this much, instinct with beekeeping becomes a real thing. So I almost said if the hive expelled her, or if she decided, you know, the marking job was not beneficial, or whatever I'm trying to say, or it actually killed her, that she would have crawled out, or the hive would have expelled her out of the colony. And I was almost going to say that was a week ago. With the amount of ants and other critters out here, I doubt I'm going to find her on the ground. However, this is so unfortunate. So check that out. That is the remnants of the queen that I marked last week. And she looked like she was mated. So I blame myself. I think the paint, as you can see, on her right eye and her right wing may have affected her, may have killed her, or she wasn't mated and that was just enough to mess her up to where she didn't make it far, or the bees determined that was something unnatural and odd and expelled her from the colony. So intuition is a weird thing. Something told me just to check on the ground, which is something I don't do often enough. Alright, so now we're going to move into plan B, and I am going to take a frame. I'm going to take a frame from hive number 3. They've had a lot of bees bearding in the afternoon, so I have no doubt that they are a pretty healthy colony. And in fact, I already took one frame earlier today and moved that into another nuc that I made a split from. So I'm going to put the frame that I take from them directly in the middle here, and we'll just have to keep an eye on it over the next few weeks and see what happens. Alright, here we go. Another attempt to get hive number 7 up and running. I'm just going to double check this frame. This is from number 3, and this is the 1, 2, 3. This is the 4th frame. As you can see, some cap brood up here, some pupated larvae, and what you probably can't see is there's a ton of eggs towards the bottom. So I'm going to put this frame directly in the center, this side facing the left, and there's plenty of eggs on this side as well. And all the bees you see here are also nurse bees, so they should stay with this frame and not fly back to the parent colony number 3, which is where I just took this frame from. I don't see the queen on here. Good frame, a lot of eggs, food, brood, and a few other things going on. And that is in the center position in number 7, which is the first nuke. Alright, so there we go. Man, that is it's just a weird thing. I still can't believe it. Like, I had the idea just to look on the ground, and sure enough, there was the queen. Part of me thinks marking her caused the problems. So, you know, I guess that's just how things go sometimes. Yeah, so that does it for number 7. Had a queen last week, marked her sometime in the last week. Something happened to her, found her on the ground, dead, like half of her body remaining, which was the head and the thorax, which was lucky because that's where the paint was, and it was pretty easy to find her in the grass. So moved a frame from number 3, as you can see, hopefully, down that way, with eggs, brood, food, everything they need, nurse bees to make some queens. So in the next week or 2, I expect to see a few queen cells on that center frame in hive number 7. All right, that does it for this week. Number 7, just trying to get them queen right. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel, and if you hit the bell, you'll receive notifications of future videos. We're also on Instagram and Facebook if you want to check us out there, Cole's Farm NC. If you do a quick Google search, you'll find us, or you can use the social media icons in the YouTube homepage banner to navigate to those channels. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. Curious to see how long it takes to get this hive up and running, meaning queen right, and to where I can move them into a 10 frame. So hopefully within the next 2 weeks. So I'll check on them mid-August and see if they've developed some queen cells, and if any of those cells have hatched, emerged, and maybe, hopefully, have returned as mated queens. So time will tell. All right, thanks for watching.